Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to Real Estate Advice. In today's episode, you're going to learn about what is a tenants in common and should you have one. My name is Andrew Finney. Please consider me your real estate geek. I'm always here to help. My contact information is shown more description below. If you need help finding a great agent where you live or you simply want to say hi, drop me a line. If you haven't already done so, I'd like to ask you to go ahead and please subscribe to this channel now and like this video. So let's go ahead and get into what is tenants in common. Tenants in common is kind of like it sounds. Let's go ahead and break down each word. We have tenants. So tenants with the S on the end is going to be plural. In common, meaning that it's going to be having to do with one specific property in this case. So it's a form of taking ownership and it's for multiple parties, just like it sounds, tenants in common. So with that, who can take ownership of that property and how does it work, right? So tenants in common are often used if you have family members that are looking to purchase a property together, if you have friends that are looking at purchasing properties together. It's the way that they would take ownership of that property. So if you had a property and there was 100%, or let's call it 100 shares of a property, and you had 5 people buying this property together, then you would think, okay, well, if everything was even Stevens, then everyone's going to have 20 shares of this property and be liable for 20% of all the costs to do with that property, right? Well, maybe and maybe not. It depends on what you negotiate up front. What you'll want to do is meet with an independent counsel, so an independent attorney, right, for each of the parties that are going to be involved with that, and a tax professional would probably be a good idea as well to understand the tax ramifications. You'll want to draw up a plan that everybody's in agreement with, who pays what, how much are they paying, and what happens if one of the owners of the property want to sell. Do the other owners get the opportunity to go ahead and buy their share out? Or is that going to go over to a family member, friend, or whomever they sell it to? And maybe you like that person, maybe you don't like that person. So that's why you want to have clear-cut rules identified up front before you go out and buy a property together, whether it's with friends or whether it's with family. Everything may be great today, but sometimes things aren't always great 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. So you want to make sure that everybody agrees to it today to best protect your best interest and their best interest as well. You want to know who's going to be paying that the mortgage payment. You know, how much of the mortgage payment are you going to be liable for? You have property taxes, you have homeowners insurance, you have the utilities on the house, you have the operating costs for the house, you have also to consider the maintenance or improvements of the house that you might want to make. So by having a homeownership prenup essentially done up front, everybody will be in agreement and everybody will understand what their responsibilities are to each other and to the property itself. A disadvantage that you could consider is, again, what happens if somebody wants to sell off their share? What happens if, God forbid, somebody passes away? What happens with their share? Well, because they owned it independently and they owned a certain share amount of that property, it's going to go wherever they want it to go unless you guys had a clear-cut plan up front to identify what's going on. A little pro tip here that might be very helpful to you is that each of you guys should have life insurance on the other party to go ahead and pay off that party's percentage of that property. If something, God forbid, happens to them, then you'll be able to recoup your losses as well and it'll be able to help you get into a better position. Maybe the other parties are okay with you guys just absorbing the shares. I mean, it just depends on what you guys agree on. The purpose of today's video is to give you an idea of what tenants in common is, and it's probably going to be something that we see a little bit more commonly in the market as the market continues to climb and as it continues to improve, and even when it balances out. It is definitely a great way to get your foot in the door with home ownership and go ahead and start making that positive move in your life and give yourself an opportunity to have a rental property down the line to rent out your share as well, depending on what was agreed upon in the home ownership prenup. If you have any questions about this, I'm going to put my contact information up. Feel free to reach out to me, even if you just want to say hi. Absolutely love hearing from you. Tell me what you're thinking about this video in the comment section below, and if you've actually had a tenants in common, tell us your story. Tell us what state you were in, tell us the situation, and how did it work out for you, and was it something that's still working out today? If you have, and lastly, before we go, if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now, like this video, and share this video around with someone you know is going to be able to help. In between now and next time, I'm wishing you and yours a lifetime full of love, wealth, abundance, and happiness. Thank you for watching and enjoy a wonderful day.